Hi, I'm Jason Kirkpatrick. Today we'll be talking about ePay Manager. ePay is a cloud-based billing and settlement system designed for freight brokers to work with their existing TMS. We help companies who lack control of their billing and settlement processes take back that control so they can become a more trusted and reliable broker to both their carriers and customers. Imagine working in an office where you're not overwhelmed with carriers checking on the status of invoices or chasing down those same carriers for their paperwork, or trying to remember all the complicated business rules to invoice your customer properly. Imagine how much time and money can be saved if those things went away. So how do we do that? Well, first, we integrate with your TMS. Second, we onboard all of your carriers and factoring companies. And third, we create a set of custom workflow rules for your data. The result is a process where you automatically create the carrier invoice so you don't have to wait on them or audit that invoice. Let's log in and look at a typical transaction. When a user logs in, they're going to see a dashboard of their payables and receivables and their documents. This gives them a way to measure their daily activity. Now, before we go into a transaction, we're going to look at a set of rules. We won't have time today to go through those rules in any detail, but we do allow you to set up any combination of rules for your carriers or customers. This should be an example of a default rule for your customer. And as we scroll down, transaction default settings for your carriers. And we can customize those at the customer level, which can be managed here, and at the carrier level here. All of this will result in an invoice that gets created automatically for the carrier. The invoices you see on your screen right now are created from the broker's TMS in combination with the rules for ePay. After the invoice is created, all the carrier has to do is log in and follow these steps. The first step is the most important one: getting the documents into the system so that you can bill your customer. Carrier has three choices. They can upload, they can fax, or they can email. For larger carriers, we also allow batch processes that can automatically pull the documents into our system. No matter the method, the documents are uploaded into the system to your transaction. No more sorting through inboxes, scanning, or opening mail. The second step would be for the carrier to change their payment terms. We allow the brokers to offer accelerated payment options, and the carrier control their rate of pay. And this can help the broker reduce their direct freight cost as well. Next step is to request a change. If the dollar amounts do not match the carrier's expectation, they can edit an existing amount or add a new one. We want to get the invoice right the first time and avoid short pays and balance dues. They can also add their own reference number so that when a remittance is sent out, they have your number and theirs. Finally, if everything's correct, they'll accept the invoice and we'll move it to their invoice list. So notify the broker, and it also gives confirmation to the carrier that they've done everything correctly and they can see their expected payment date over here. We'll continue to notify the carrier automatically when you approve that invoice and when it's paid. The entire process from start to finish is transparent, and we give the carrier all the information they need to know to feel comfortable. And that's one of the many reasons why carriers find ePay brokers to be a trusted and reliable company to work with. And now we're going to look at the transaction from the broker's perspective. For payables, we have the same statuses from the carrier side. The pending list represents the transactions that have been created that don't have documents yet from the carrier. And a way to help the AP staff, we will send out automatic reminders every few days to those carriers, reminding them that they need to submit their documents, saving you the time and effort of chasing down that carrier. We also have a disputed list, which will show and target those transactions that have a dispute from the carrier and show you who's assigned to handle those disputes. Eventually, all transactions will end up on the invoice list, and the only thing left to do here is to review the documentation that came in from the carrier. We're going to look at that here. We can see a list. They've sent 4 pages on a specific date, and now we just need to classify it. Classifying is an important step in the process because this is what's going to determine which pages go to your customer invoice and which ones don't. We can look at the document in the enlarged thumbnail and then choose a label and tag it to the right. If we need to investigate any detail on the page, we can zoom in and get the full size. Once we've done that, we go back to the list and we can see the result of that work. We'll see that of those 4 pages, only 3 of them are going to be included in the customer invoice. The other one will not, but all documents will go back to your TMS. Now the last thing to do is approve that transaction for payment. And when that happens, we move it to the approved list, and we will also update your TMS with any dollar amounts that changed, discounts that were earned, and the scheduled pay date. This gives the carrier the peace of mind that everything is in order and payment will happen as expected. We'll also dramatically reduce the number of calls and emails into your office, checking on the status of the payment. On that pay date, we will transfer via ACH from your bank account directly into the carrier's account. Now, I've just shown you how easily we can collect the documents from the carrier and avoid auditing the invoice as part of the settlement. The last step is to automatically trigger an invoice to your customer. We can create that automated process to deliver the invoice via EDI, email, or even to the customer's portal. When we import your AP data from the TMS, we can also receive that AR information. And when we link those together using the rules I showed earlier, we can trigger an invoice to your customer. Here's an example of that invoice with all the information and the documents that are pulled directly from the payable. The result is a faster billing process driven by an improved settlement process. In conclusion, you deserve a system that can control your data and workflow better and make your carriers and customers happy. We've helped companies just like yours for over 15 years achieve a higher level of efficiency. Visit epaymanager.com or the FreightWaves Slack channel to schedule a demonstration and learn the secret of making your employees 4 times more efficient and turning your back office into a profit center. Thank you.